So today we have with us Mr. Rishabh Dhingra, who is a Thapar MCA graduate and currently working at Google Canada as a solutions consultant in data analytics and data science. He has around 11 years of experience in the data analytics space and has experienced the power of analytics in various industries ranging from retail, finance to legal industry. He has also co-founded an analytics consultancy and has experience of building high performance analytics teams. Outside work, he also loves to spend time on his two podcasts, playing cricket, listening to podcasts, and mentoring professionals starting analytics. So thank you, Rishabh, and welcome to this interview. And thank you for accepting our invite for an interview here. Please tell me something more about yourself, especially in the current role as a solutions consultant.
Thank you, first of all, Ankit, for inviting me to your channel. It's great to be here and talking about my work or my current position. So I'm with Google Cloud Customer Experience team, where we use data and machine intelligence to optimize the cloud support experience for our Google customers.
Great.
And it has been quite a fun ride for me. And especially working with some great minds, and every day has been a learning experience. So I think
So
I'm
how long have you been
almost,
with Google till now?
yeah, so I'm on the verge of completing my 1 year. So my 1 year Google versary, which is what we call, is coming on 1st of November. So last 11 months has been a fun ride for me.
Okay, all right. All right. So, Rishabh, I think since this is we're talking about analytics here, and analytics, as you know, is the present and future of the industry. So,
Yeah.
what is your take on this? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we've seen such a growth in analytics space in last 10 years or so, and it is expected to, radically change the way we live and the way we are living now as well, and also the way we do business. And as I said, it's already doing all so, right? So we use technology or analytics, I would say, in all the technology devices.
Hmm.
Uh, let's say Apple Watch, which I'm wearing, Google Pixel Watch. Everything has analytics built into it. So every technology devices has that AI, machine learning, right? And business are using analytics to identify opportunities where they can improve. They can improve the customer experience. But I'd still say we are in the early days
Right.
of this. So because a lot of organizations, they are still struggling with getting the right data analytics strategy and how to drive the business value from it. Uh, but one of the example that I wanted to share, like in analytics, is like my insurance company. I provide my driving data to them through their app,
Okay.
and they analyze my driving habits and provide me recommendations. And also, this helps me reduce my premium. So if you are a good driver, you have good as per their analytics that they have done, you have a good score, then you get a discount on your premium. So this wasn't the case like if you talk about 10 years back, right? So they are building
Yes.
analytics in everything. And
Yes.
in the future, how this will change is it'll be through the sensors in the cars. And when we'll have like self-driving cars, the business model will change completely. And the business need to be ready to embrace this change, that there will be no longer a driving habits of a driver, but it's about a car. So it's AI driving it. So it's going to change radically. And I'm pretty sure it's not like we are 50 years away from it. It's going to come soon.
So, do you think India is also going to get into all of this very soon? Do you
I don't
feel
know
that
about
way?
yeah, I don't know about self-driving. I think if you talk about the testing of like Tesla, AI, and the self-driving mode, it should happen in India, in
Mhm.
Indian conditions. But India is like, I think, at the forefront as well in terms of technical advances that we have seen. Talking about Google Cloud, I was reading an article somewhere. The 26% of Google Cloud developers, they are from India only, so which has seen the massive growth.
Yes.
So India is going to drive the future of AI, machine learning, data science as well. It's going to play a key role.
All right. So, Rishabh, since we are talking about this analytics industry right now, and there are so many analytical skills and tools which are available in the market, so which do you feel are more relevant in today's times if someone has to pursue analytics?
Yeah. And it can get confusing, as you said. There are so many things, so many
Yes.
tools, right? And let me be clear: you don't have to be perfect in all.
Yes.
You don't have to master every tool and become, I'm full stack and I know everything. Obviously, it's good if you know everything, but it's not possible to be perfect in everything, right? But it's a combination of skills, especially specifically in the analytics space. So you need to understand the product sense and the business sense, because you will be talking with business people, trying to find, how you can solve the business problems, improve customer experience through data science and analytics. So you need to understand the how the business works, what is your product sense basically, and then
Yes.
there are technical skills. So if I talk about data warehousing, it will be BigQuery, for example. If you want to put a visualization tool, it will be Looker Studio. I know people use Tableau, and of course there is SQL, that I would say bread and butter of any analyst, and Python. And there are ML platform like TensorFlow, and one needs to understand or have a decent understanding of a cloud ecosystem. I'm not saying you have to be
Mm.
perfect in everything. Engineering skills, because the models that you build in ML, they need to be deployed in production. They need to function so that, especially the consumer facing models, right? So you need ML engineering, which is ML ops, and all also come into picture. Uh, but knowledge of these, I would say, how they all come together
Mm.
definitely helps. And few things that, or one of the skill that gets ignored sometimes as we focus a lot on technical skills, is the com skills. Because
Yes.
I, as a data analyst, data scientist, whatever you may call, whatever domain people are in, they need to communicate their findings or analytics to the stakeholders. And they need to simplify it in a way that the message is sent across. There are actions coming out of it. People don't want to know what the model is doing, right? How many features it is taking, how the model is working, what's the math behind it. Business folks, they're not interested in that. So if you're talking to uh, people who are going to take decisions, all they're looking at, okay, what is my data telling me? What are the recommendations?
Mm.
So that's what the TLDR should be. So com skills are also pretty important, I would say.
Right. Another quick question, which although I was not about to ask this question, so let me ask this now. So you are working with Google for the last 1 year or so, and Google has a lot of these analytical tools which are available, and so has Microsoft. So how do you see how Google has positioned itself in terms of the analytical tools it is coming out with, and which do you think are more relevant and popular? Considering Google has different set of tools, and but if you see the Microsoft tools, they are much more you can say referred to by people who are working in analytics. So what is your
Yeah.
take on that?
So Google with Google Cloud has seen rapid growth in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years.
Hmm.
If you look at the customer base, and generally, we see in the market public information how it has grown, and the numbers would show the information that is available. I understand, like, Microsoft has been an enterprise kind of a company where they have been building tools for enterprise. I don't know for how many decades, right? So we started
Hmm.
with Microsoft SQL Server and all that. So
Yes.
that's why you see it's being referred as well. But I think when it comes to AI data science tools in cloud, I think Google has an edge. One of the best, I would say, tools that I've seen. I don't know if you know about Vertex AI. If
I've
not,
heard of it. I've
folks who
heard
are
of
listening,
it.
yeah. So Vertex AI is so powerful. That's a AI tool, Google, that helps you in your all the AI stuff on cloud. So that's a pretty cool tool from Google on cloud. And then there are other tools, like if you talk about analytics or warehousing, BigQuery can handle massive data set, and these are some of the tools, which Google started using their own kind of the apps that you see, but then
Hmm.
now they made a public version of it, like say BigQuery and all, right?
Okay.
Which we all use. So I've started to see, like, the change or the shift where these are, especially in the data science and AI world.
All right. So, although we have been talking about different, more sophisticated and advanced tools, but if you come to the very basis of analytics, all of it started with Microsoft Excel or Google spreadsheets. So is it still relevant in today's times for someone looking at establishing a career in analytics? So what is your call or take on that thing?
Yeah, I think sometimes we get stuck in jazzy tools or
Yes,
jazzy words, but important thing is what question, business question is there? What are you trying to solve? Uh, what business objective you're trying to meet, right? Tool is just a mechanism to
yes,
do that.
yes,
If you have a Google Sheet which can provide you an answer to solve that question, you would
yes,
use Google Spreadsheet. I don't have to like set up a cloud machine or a virtual machine, right? So there are these tools available. So I think it's still relevant. It will be relevant.
mm,
Also, it has become even more powerful now. So it's just not like you just dump data and then analysis on it. Google
mm,
spreadsheets, they have connectors. We call connected sheets, right? You can connect
yes,
to a BigQuery and
mm,
then analyze, visualize, share billions of rows of BigQuery data just from your spreadsheet. So think of it like you're connecting to a warehouse and then doing a live analysis on it just using spreadsheet. You don't have to like go to a cloud and spin up a virtual machine and then uh, have a server there and then start with it, right? So what this enables us to collaborate with partners or analysts and stakeholders who are
yes,
familiar with this interface of spreadsheet, right? It's very easy to share.
correct.
um, Google has great functionality in terms of sharing. People can then add comments. So it helps having that conversation with the business folks. So
Yes,
I don't think so it's going to go away. It's always going to be relevant. And
right.
this will still ensure that there's single source of truth for data analysis. You don't have to export the data to spreadsheet because you're just now connecting to BigQuery.
Yes,
And it streamlines your reporting. So to answer your question, I think these are still relevant and going to be relevant, and they are getting more powerful as we have seen, right?
all right. So again, analytics, we're talking about analytics here, and what kind of opportunities do you foresee in analytics in the next 5 to 10 years? What's your take on that?
Yeah. Oh, we've seen massive growth in last 10 years, and talking about next 10 years, I think cloud adoption is going to keep on increasing. I don't think so. This industry is going to stop. It's only going to increase, especially you see all small, medium business scale enterprises as well. They are moving to cloud, or there are companies who are just like a startup, right? They're going to start in cloud. Obviously, they're not gone are the days where they will have on-premise server. They have people, managing on-premise servers. So for them, quick to if they're going to market and they want to go to market quickly, they just adopt a cloud. So we will keep on seeing the increase in cloud adoption. Now, with the increase of data and data being new oil, there would be increased emphasis on governance and security. As we see, the attacks these days are more on internet, right? So on your data, and you need to protect them. You need to protect information of your consumers. So there will be increased emphasis on data governance and security roles, which will be around data security and governance. So
Okay.
organizations, they're not going to ignore that. And self-serve BI will obviously continue to explode. It will generate more and insights where business will do their self analytics. Speech analytic tools, I think you talk and they give you analytics, they'll churn out insights. That's also going
Very
to be the
relevant. Yes.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then AI equipped BI tools will help support, I think, all the decision making that we do in business. So these are some of the trends that I see that we'll see in the next 10 years.
All right. So let's say there is somebody who is starting a career in business analytics, or let's say pursuing an MBA in analytics. So what he or she should do in terms of courses, certifications, or projects, because that is a time when most of these people are very confused about what to do. So what's your call on such a thing?
Yeah, uh, I think there's so many resources out there, and then you get all
Mm.
confused. Where should I start? What should I do? Where I think one can get started is doing a personal project, especially say in the area they are passionate about. Like I'm passionate about sports. I would start with a personal analytics project on a sport. My favorite sport is cricket. I'm going to download data from different websites like Cricinfo, etc., and then start analyzing it. And that's my portfolio. So building a portfolio and having it on GitHub, say, that helps a lot. And then you can engage with the community, share it with the community. They give you feedback, and you keep on improving from there. Also, then when you go out in the industry, you can showcase your personal projects. This is what you have done. So it's a good way for them to quickly see your skill sets, and then present that as well in your interviews. And with community engagement, you also understand how analytics are used in different domains, different project ideas, and technical learnings. And taking additional courses or certifications that do help, but you need to understand what phase of your journey you are in analytics.
Correct.
If I'm starting, I
Yes.
would not directly go and learn deep neural networks, right? So
Yes.
I'm gonna get bored, demotivated in 1 hour, and then I'll leave everything. So
Correct.
it's important to you pick the right courses as well as certifications depending on where you are in your journey.
Right. So I think there are quite a few of these certification platforms available online. You have Udemy, you have Coursera, you have Simply Learn. So which ones would you recommend to students who, let's say, wants to get into analytics?
So people who are just starting into analytics, I highly recommend Google Data Analytics Professional Certificate. It's
Hmm.
available on Coursera, and I've
Okay.
seen a lot of people have taken it, and that has helped them secure their first job. So Google runs a program called Google Career Certification,
Okay.
and there are multiple certifications under that, right? So as
Okay.
we're talking about analytics, what I'm referring to is Google Data Analytics Professional Certificate. And it's highly recommended for people starting in analytics. And what you also get is you get access to Google Coursera job platform. So
Okay.
where there are around 150 employers that are hiring for open roles. So as soon as you complete your certificate, then you can look like companies could look out for you and at least get started in the analytics field. So that's one certificate I would highly recommend if you're starting.
Okay. And coming back to students once again, and so do you think academic background of these students is a factor in case they have to decide whether they should get into analytics or something else? So do you think that is a factor, or because most of the time what happens is people or companies tend to prefer students who are from an engineering background, from a coding background, but done some kind of coding or stuff. So do you think that is a factor, or think it is just a myth and anybody and everybody can get into analytics?
I mean, it always helps if you are from software or engineering or kind of a coding background. So I didn't do my engineering, right? I'm not a software engineer per se. I did my MC, as you said, right? So I was well versed with SQL and all the data stuff, right? And that was something that always was my kind of drove me, and that was my passion, you can say. So I remember the days of Thapar. I would get C exams, C++ exams, but then I'll have database exam. I was always excited about database, and it was like building a story in my mind how databases work, how data works, right? So I found like this is what I like doing. So if
Hmm.
someone is passionate about that, I mean, that's what matters. Obviously, education could help and helps when the company looks for placement, but it's not like, there's a barrier, and that education would decide if you should or should not be doing. Anyone can go get into analytics. You need to
Correct.
have the right mindset. You need to have the passion. Say this is what interests me, right? And I want to now learn how to solve things through analytics because that's going to be the future. But important thing is you should enjoy it. So you can then take up, as I mentioned, different courses, and there are so many resources out there. As long as you're passionate about it, uh, you keep building your portfolio and your knowledge. Important thing is you're learning every day because this domain is going to keep changing every year. I
Yes.
would say every few months. So stay up to date with technologies, what's happening around the world, how business are adopting, and just learn continuously.
Right. So uh, we have a quick rapid fire round, Rishabh, before we end this interview. So I'll be posting some questions and you can answer them in 1 or 2 words as per what you want to do. So the
Mhm.
first question coming up here, R or Python, your preference?
I have not worked much on R, but I know there are folks who love R. Because
Uh,
I have not worked that much, my preference is Python.
okay. Google Spreadsheets or Microsoft Excel, the more preferred.
Google Spreadsheets, because now I've seen the power of Google Spreadsheets. Not only like obviously I work at Google, so I use it day in day out, but even for my personal projects or my personal, like if I want to do analysis on my spend or my health tracker, and everything is now on Gmail, right? It's connected
Yes.
to my Google account, right? So that's where the power of Google Spreadsheet comes in. So I've been using it a lot, and I now realize the power of spreadsheets.
Okay. SQL or Tableau, the more relevant.
I would say SQL because SQL is something that's gonna be used if you are safe. Even for Tableau, you need to understand SQL. Even for Looker, you need to have a understanding of SQL, how it works, how it queries the database. So in every data, as a data analyst, always you need to have a SQL skill.
Correct.
Always. Tableau
Correct.
is a way to present, and that could be Looker, that could be Tableau, it could be Power BI, anything. But I think what powers it underneath for all these tools is SQL.
Right. Google tools or Microsoft tools, the more used.
Uh, I know, like in enterprise, as I mentioned, Microsoft has been a player for a long time back. So, I mean, in that, if you see, it's more used because they have been in the industry for a long period.
Correct.
But I've seen a lot more tools now, Google tools that have started to pick up and being used a lot in the industry. And as I mentioned, there are some really powerful tools from Google, which there's no one can out there that can beat, like specifically in data science analytics. Vertex AI is one of that. So
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Vertex AI.
Okay. 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 All right. So if you're a student and given a chance to learn two tools in analytics, which ones will you select?
Uh, I'm assuming people know SQL then, because that's the base. If I say you don't know anything, you're starting with a blank slate.
Yes.
SQL is something you should definitely, SQL and Python, you should definitely learn,
Uh,
right? And just talking about analytics, I'll not go into data science or AI, but
mhm.
just about analytics, SQL, Python. And then I would learn one visualization tool that could be Looker, Looker Studio, or Tableau or Power BI, something like that. That gives you, if you get a data, you can transform that data, do massaging of data through SQL and Python, and then
Mhm.
do your analysis using Looker Studio, and present it through Looker Studio to stakeholders.
All right. One last question. A few words about our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a great initiative, Ankit. I mean, people who wants to find right resources, and you talk to people in the industry, and students will get to know what's out in the industry, what's going on, how they can approach their careers. So the kind of questions you put together are really helpful for someone who's going to start in the analytics. So these are great resources, and hands, I would say it's a first-hand experience that is coming from people in the industry that students can apply.
Yes.
So I would ask, or I would recommend students to do check out who are starting in analytics. Your YouTube channel, it's really a great initiative. So kudos to you, and I would encourage you to keep doing it.
Thank you so much for your time, Rishabh, and have a great week ahead. See you soon in a few days' time. Once again.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Ankit. It was a pleasure being here. Take care. Bye.